This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, the top 10 skills for success in network marketing. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Gamble. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I have a background in traditional business. I'm an affiliate marketer, a network marketer, and a speaker, trainer, and coach through John C. Maxwell, if you know him. If you've been discouraged, depressed, frustrated, mad, upset, if you're ready to give up, if you're ready to throw in the towel, I totally understand. I feel you. I've been there before. And what I found is by mastering a couple skills, you can have success inside of direct sales and network marketing. Anybody can succeed if they have the right coaching and mentorship. And that's key, coaching and mentorship. If you go out there and just wing this and try it yourself, I have no idea where you're going to end up. But if you work with people who have had success before, you will have success. I don't know how long it's going to take you because everybody goes at a different pace, but you will have success. So with that, let's get into these 10 things. The very first skill that you will have to master is growth. And growth comes in a bunch of different areas. You're going to have to grow mentally. You're going to have to grow your skill set. You're going to have to grow your dream. You're going to have to grow your belief. You're going to have to grow your confidence. And the easiest way to do that is basically three things. Number one is by reading. I know, elementary school, I know education, gosh, that's not that fun. That's not that great. But by reading, not just reading anything, but by reading personal development, by reading personal growth books about leadership, about mentorship, about skill sets, about finance, you have the ability to learn all the lessons other people have learned in a lifetime. You can learn it in a couple hours by reading a book. Might take you more than a couple hours, but several hours you'd be able to do that. Second, in growth is by watching and listening to videos, which obviously if you're watching or listening to this, you're already there. By watching and listening, you're going to grow. You're going to pick up one thing every time you listen to anything. I mean, anytime I listen to anything, it doesn't really matter who it is, I'm picking up at least one thing. Last thing is actually hanging out around people. So it's actually getting together with people. It's attending events. It's meeting up, having coffee, having phone conversations, having Zooms, having FaceTimes, however you want to do it. So it's that association around people who know what they're doing that makes it work. So that's personal growth. That's the very first skill that you will have to master if you plan on making any money. And by the way, this skill right here is the fastest way to attract people. Let me repeat that. This skill right here, it doesn't sound like it, right? It sounds slow, it sounds methodical, sounds maybe painful, reading, listening, watching, and then attending events and meeting people in association. That sounds like slow growth, but growth is the most attractive thing. It's how you attract the most people. Second, database building. If you want to make big money, we're talking about over six figures in anything, you will have to learn how to grow a database. That's just business 101. There's a bunch of different database managers. Some people try to keep it in a notebook. I wouldn't suggest necessarily that. Some people try to keep it in their phone. I've seen people keep it in their phone, and they had these lists in their phone where they would text message and email. Home is here. Hello. Where they text message and email people, and that's one way to do it. Some kind of database manager. We actually have GetResponse. GetResponse is a database manager. So whether you're keeping it in your phone, whether you're keeping it in a program, you will have to learn how to build eventually a database. If you're just going out there and winging it with a couple people and then winging it with a couple people, I know a friend who basically built $1 million business. Well, he did build $1 million business. He did it all with one Facebook group. That's all he had. The Facebook group was a database. Now, I don't like that one quite as much because you don't own Facebook, right? You don't own Facebook. They could turn you off for any reason. You can get hacked, et cetera, et cetera. Where if you're paying for a program, at least you kind of have a little bit more leverage, right? Facebook is free, therefore they can do whatever they want. So database building is the second skill you will absolutely positively have to learn: how to find people, how to put them in the database. And as you build that database and it grows and grows and grows, you'll get more and more results. Third, you're going to have to learn contacting. contacting. Now, there's different kinds of people you contact, right? There's warm market, people you know, friends, family, acquaintances. There's cold market, people you do not know. These are people you're going to meet out and about, restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, you know, at public events, at family events. You're going to meet people you don't know. That's called cold market. Those are people you know, will run into. The third is leads. These three different kinds of people, you will have to use different techniques to be able to contact them. And I'm not here to go into all the contacting stuff, but you'll have to learn that. And it's not rocket science. Anybody can learn it. Anybody can learn it if you're working with the right person. So again, it goes back to coaching and mentorship. If you're just winging it, most people who wing it try to use the exact same contact with all three people, and that's why they're not getting any results, which is why you want to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. The fourth skill that you need to learn for success is presentations, presenting. I know this sounds weird because you're like, well, we have a video that does that. That's not good enough. I will guarantee every single person that you absolutely respect inside of direct sales and network marketing, every single one of them, everyone that you like, everyone that you love, everyone that you feel is great, all of them know how to present. All of them, without exception. So there's something to that, right? It doesn't mean you present in every case, but you learn to present. This is something I teach. This is one of our main skills that, you know, we teach people how to do. So that way, no matter where they are, no matter what the circumstances is, they can get out a 10 to 15 minute overview instantly to somebody. And here's the thing, the physical presentation has the highest rate of sign up. Let me repeat that. A physical presentation where you're giving it, not some distant person that they don't know, not some video, a presentation where you're giving it has the highest rate of sign up. Look it up. So presentation is the fourth skill. The fifth skill is, of course, following up, you know, getting back in touch with people. Follow-up is an absolute must, you know, for, you know, people who basically go through the process. Now, here's the thing. Too many people spend time following up with people that won't listen to anything, won't watch anything, and they're basically saying, I'm not interested. Here's the way I was told. Stop selling meat to vegetarians. Like it just makes sense, right? Stop selling meat to vegetarians. Too many people are trying to push meat to somebody who's like, I don't like meat. I don't eat meat. I don't want meat. And meaning that the meat is actually what? The meat is the presentation, the business. You know, they don't like sales. They don't like network marketing. They don't like those products. They're not going to join. They have no interest. And you keep trying to sell it to them. It makes no sense. Go on, move on to someone else. So follow-up is absolutely key, but following up with the correct people. Who are the correct people? The people who are willing to listen, right? 6, scheduling and time blocking is the 6th skill you will need to have success. If you do not know how to set an appointment and show up, you're screwed. You won't make it in business. Scheduling and time blocking. And here's the thing. Did you know that there's basically at least half of all people, personality-wise, if you don't show up, you're done. Right there, you're done. You don't show up, you ghost them, you forget, you don't call, you're out. That's it. You don't get a second chance. With 50, it's over 50 actually, but at least 50% of the population, you're out. So if you don't understand that scheduling and time blocking is important, I'll give you this. This is where I learned how important scheduling and time blocking was. I went in for a friend of mine was a dentist, like good friend. Played soccer, stayed at his house. We hung out a lot, went out on the weekends. Great guy. He said, look, I can basically help you out and I can do this. But you're going to have to come in super early to my office. I was like, no problem. Free dentistry work. No problem. I'll show up. So I show up at like 7 o'clock. His secretary shows up at 8, or executive assistant. I'm sorry. His executive assistant shows up at about 8. And she picks up this book off of a shelf. It's like a 3-ring binder. She opens it up and she goes, hey guys, hey, this is so-and-so calling from, you know, Dr. So-and-so. I'm not going to give his name. Dr. So-and-so's office. And your appointment is next Monday, because I came in on like a Monday. He's like, your appointment is next Monday at 8 a.m. So she does 8 a.m., 8:15, 8:30, 8:45, 9, 9:15. 9:30. And she goes through every single 15 minutes until she's done with the entire day. I think, oh, okay, that's weird. That's a week out. Then all of a sudden she grabs another notebook and she opens it up and she starts calling and says, hey, this is so-and-so from Dr. So-and-so's office. And you have an appointment tomorrow at 8 a.m. or 8:30, I think is when they open. I can't remember. At 8 a.m. Let's just call it 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Tomorrow, Tuesday. And she gave the date. And then it was 8, 8:15, 8:30, 8:45. And then she opened it up and says, hey, you know, the next 3-ring binder, hey, you have an appointment today at 8. You have an appointment today at 8:15. You have an appointment today at 8:30. And she went right through the entire day. And I get done and I start thinking about it. And I was like, I go in and I talk to my friend. I was like, hey, you know, it's really interesting. You call a week ahead, you call a day ahead, and you call the same day. Why is that? And they said, well, we make money based on the number of people we see. Ding, ding, ding. I'm like, okay, so basically I'm an idiot. And what I mean by I'm an idiot because I didn't value my time. I didn't value the number of people I was getting in front of like a doctor. Now, what I found out is the best attorneys do the same thing. They have executive assistants, and I had this happen to me today. I had to talk to an attorney today, and they actually sent me a text message and an email, prior to the attorney calling. They said, hey, just want to let you know the attorney's going to be calling you. Make sure you're available during this time and this time. And guess what? I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, they're going to call. And they called, and I picked up the phone, and I was like, damn, doctors and attorneys. Now, doctors and attorneys make an enormous amount of money, and dentists make an enormous amount of money for the time they're spending. My question to you is, are you treating your time that valuable? Or are you just winging it? And my guess is you're just winging it, which is why you're not making the kind of money they make. So that's the 6th skill. The 7th skill is edification. Edification. You have to learn how to edify other people. You have to learn how to edify the product. You have to learn how to edify the system. You have to learn what is edification. That'd be a good way to start this one. What is edification? Edification is the building up of a person, the building up of a system, the building up support. You're complimenting. You're telling the good things about the person or about the company or about the product line. Edification. You have to learn how to edify where it seems effortless, not some pre-programmed, pre-written weird speech where you don't sound normal. And here's the thing. Most of you aren't going to sound normal in edification because edification is not something that's common inside of, at least the United States and Canada. It's not common. It's not common. This is not something that's taught usually to kids at the dinner table. Here's how to properly edify somebody. Did you know you'll end up making more money? You'll have more success. You'll have more friends. People will like you more. I mean, it's stupid that we don't teach it like that, but that's the truth. We don't teach it. So edification is absolutely one of the skills that will move you ahead in the business, like massively. I mean, this is a huge skill. Next, testimonials and storytelling. Testimonials and storytelling. This is where third party comes in. I don't care if you're doing a testimonial at the end of a presentation, or you're doing a testimonial at the end of a training, or you're doing a testimonial on a one-on-one for another person, right? Because that's important too. But your testimonial, do you know how to give a proper testimonial without blabbing about a bunch of stupid crap that has nothing to do with the subject matter? I am very, very, very careful who I introduce my new people that I'm bringing onto any team to, because 99.9% of the time they have not been trained on testimonials, they have not been trained on storytelling, and what they do is they end up yapping because they're nervous, because they're self-conscious, because they don't have high self-esteem and they've never been trained. They go off on these tangents talking about crap that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and actually takes us off track for the sale, takes us off track for the closing, not closer to. So this is like, this skill will make you a ton of money once you master it. And I'll do a whole training on testimonials and story because it's so important. That moves us on to 9. 9 is promotion. Promotion. In the beginning, you will need to learn how to recruit. If you want to build like anything significant inside of direct sales and network marketing, recruiting is kind of the first thing. But recruiting is not necessarily, personal recruiting is not where the biggest amount of money is. The biggest amount of money is in promotion. And if you don't understand that, let me kind of give you this scenario. Mike Tyson made just over $500 million in boxing. Mike Tyson made over $500 million in boxing. But you know who made more? His manager. You know who made more? The promoter. The promoter made more than the physical person. The only person who's figured this out and completely mastered it, really, is Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm not here promoting Floyd Mayweather. I'm not saying he's a great guy and he's the best role model. But when it comes to understanding promotion in business, he bought his way out of his contract so he could become his own promoter, because he understood the big money isn't getting your face knocked in. The big money is getting faces to watch you get your face knocked in, which sounds crazy, but it's true. So his last boxing match that I know of, he made right around $200 million. $200 million. The purse for the fight was $10 million. That was split, and I don't know how the split is. I don't know if it's 60-40 or 80-20. I don't know the split, but the purse was $10 million, but he walked away with 180 million. So think about that. If Mike Tyson made like 600 million total in a lifetime, and the promoters made that much more, what do you think is more important? Doing the work or promoting what's going on? This is why edification came before promotion, because if you can't edify, you can't promote. But there's an art to promotion, right? The art of promotion. This is an art form. This is about excitement. This is about having the right order, asking questions, having the right order, and then laying out kind of what's going to happen. You know, this is about vision. This is about goal setting. This is about, you know, mission, vision, purpose, why they're doing what they're doing, and understanding personalities. Promotion has a lot to do with understanding personalities, getting people to move. Now, I learned this because there's something called the pyramid of motivation. The pyramid of motivation, once you understand the pyramid of motivation, you understand promotion. And I'm not going to give that out because it's too long. So promotion is the ninth skill, absolute ninth skill that you need to learn. Now, the 10th skill is, of course, closing and signing people up. If you don't know how to close and sign people up, all the work you've done is for nada, right? Now, not only do you have to be able to know how to sign your people up, you have to know how to sign other people's people up. So you better work really hard on learning it yourself, because if you don't, watch this, if you don't learn how to close and sign people up, you will never be independent, right? We want independent reps, not dependent reps. I want independent reps. I want people signing people up. They don't need me. They don't need me. They don't need a meeting. We're not selling $3 million deals. What are we selling? Like $30. Hey, it's $50, $100. It's $100. You need 62 people to convince somebody of $100. Like, no, you don't. People sell cars over the phone. I know a guy who sold real estate over the phone, $250,000 to $500,000 to people who qualified, right? People who qualified sight unseen. Sight unseen, he was selling investment properties over the phone to people who could afford it, right? But sight unseen, they didn't even need to see $250,000 to $500,000. If they can sell that over the phone, you can close somebody on a $50 a month, $60 a month, $100 a month product and a $100 to $500 sign up all day long and Sunday. Now, if they resist, but they're still a good I'm not saying don't use third party. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you have the ability to say, hey, does this make sense? On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, my closing technique, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you'd refer us, or 10, this interests you and you'd want to move forward, where are you? And if they're 5 and above, the next question comes up. Well, I mean, you know, the question then becomes, you know, if you like it, can you afford to take advantage of it? And they always ask, well, how much is it? And you tell them how much it is. And then the next question is, well, I mean, does that sound like something that's reasonable that you can do right now, or you need to do it at another time? You know, when you get paid, I always give them that. You know, does it make sense now or does it make sense when you get paid? And most people are like, well, and they just tell me. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then I introduce them to somebody else if it's not right now. That's how I introduce. Like if I use you for a third party, I already know the person wants to sign up. I'm not throwing anybody on the phone just so we can waste time and talk to them about stuff. You're like, no, I haven't worked in 10 years and, you know, I have no money and I've been living in a grocery cart and, you know, I've been begging for, I mean, I'm not saying that that's every situation, but I've been put on the phone with people like that. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Why are you even putting me on the phone? Like I'm good at what I do, but I am not a miracle worker, right? I don't bring people back to life. I don't mysteriously create money out of thin air for other people. Well, I mean, I do in business, but like there's a technique to it, and you kind of have to have your stuff together. And we should have a whole seminar on look for people that have their stuff together. You know, if they don't have their stuff together, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for you to move forward with people that don't have their stuff together. Like, you know, there's just certain things that need to be there. Do they have an income? Do they have an income where they can actually afford to get in? Now, whether they want to get in or not is a different story, but they at least have to have the income. Do they have transportation? Do they have communication? Meaning, do they have a car? And do they have, I ask people this, why make the job so much harder? Like it's easy. Like if you have no income and you have no communication and you have no, you know, wheels, then, you know, I can tell you, hey, you know, this is a great business, but, or great opportunity. But what I would suggest first is go get a job and pay your bills. Then we'll talk. I'll still be here. Now I'm going to give you guys a bonus. I said I was going to give 10. I'm going to give a bonus because if you master these 10 skills, you'll be able to bring people in. If you master these 10 skills, you'll be able to make money. But how do you keep making money? And that's number 11, building friendships. Building friendships. This is an art form. This is an art form. And if you I grew up around people that did not build great friendships. They didn't. You know, my friends didn't build great friendships. My parents have friends. Don't get me wrong. My parents have friends. But were they masters at building friendships? No, they weren't. They were about taking, not necessarily about giving. There is an art form to friendship. I was so happy that I ran into the training by John Maxwell and that I went through his certification program because this is something that I had to learn how to do. And I'm still not great at it. But I'm better than I was. And this is the secret to the people who build massive organizations all over the world, where people say, you know, I didn't stay in for the money. I stayed in for the friendship. I stayed in because of the people that we were around. And here's the biggest problem. You will not recruit who you want. You will recruit who you are. Let me repeat that. You will not recruit what you want. You will not recruit who you want. You will recruit who you are. So if you're bad at building friendships, you will recruit people who are bad at building friendships, which means they're probably bad at contacting. They're probably bad at presenting. They're probably bad at following up. They're bad at all that. Why? Because all of those skills fall into building friendships. So that's the 11. Now I'm going to make a suggestion to every single person because what most people do is they ask me 2 questions when they hear this. They asked me 2 questions. They said, who do I talk to and what do I say? Because I need to recruit. That's the very first thing I need to do. I need to recruit. I need to learn to recruit. Well, I'm going to give you a suggestion. Join our community. Join our community. Go to joinmyleadershipnetwork.com. Click on the video. Watch our lead program. That's $20. It's $20 one time. It's unlimited leads, $20 one time. It also comes with a text message marketing system, so you don't even have to know how to say anything. You just have to know what to send people to get a reaction. And it also comes with a Facebook group, so that way you can learn exponentially by asking questions and seeing what other people are doing. So that is my suggestion. I hope everybody gained a lot from this. Here's what I've learned. The best trained team wins. So let's lock arms and go out and run for some goals and dreams. Thank you guys so much.